Pablo Escobar had a problem most governments would kill to have. He had too much money. Not rich man money, not billionaire money. He had so much physical cash that it stopped behaving like wealth and started behaving like a structural threat. Every day, cocaine flowed out of Colombia and U.S. dollars flowed back in. Planes, trucks, couriers, bags so heavy they tore. Warehouses stacked floor to ceiling with bills. Literal tons of cash flooding into a country whose entire banking system wasn't built to handle even a fraction of it. And that creates a question almost nobody asks. What happens when a private individual controls more liquid money than the state can realistically monitor? Because at that point, you're not just breaking the law, you're challenging who actually runs the economy. At his peak, Escobar wasn't just selling drugs to Americans, he was operating a parallel financial system inside Colombia, one that moved faster than banks, reached deeper than government programs, and worked more reliably than official institutions ever had for millions of people. That's not exaggeration, that's the uncomfortable part. At first, Escobar tried to do what criminals are supposed to do. He laundered, he hid, he moved money through shell companies and front businesses. But the scale crushed those methods. There simply weren't enough fake invoices or friendly bankers on Earth to absorb that much cash without triggering alarms. So, the money piled up. It rotted. Rats ate it. Moisture destroyed it. Millions vanished every year just sitting still. Escobar discovered something no textbook prepares you for. Cash isn't power if it doesn't move. So he made it move. He paid farmers directly. He financed transport routes. He funded construction projects that the state had ignored for decades. Neighborhoods got homes, soccer fields, schools, electricity, not from ministries, but from Escobar's money. His cash arrived faster than government budgets and more consistently than public services, and people noticed. In many parts of Colombia, Escobar's money became more dependable than the state itself. When banks refused loans, Escobar provided capital. When the government delayed aid, Escobar delivered instantly. When the state punished, Escobar rewarded. This wasn't generosity, it was control. Escobar decided where money flowed and where it didn't, which regions received liquidity and which were starved, which officials stayed loyal and which disappeared. Judges weren't bribed randomly, they were priced. Police commanders weren't persuaded emotionally, they were absorbed financially. He didn't just corrupt institutions, he replaced them. This is where Escobar crossed a line governments never forgive. States can tolerate crime. They can even tolerate corruption. What they cannot tolerate is competition over money. As Escobar's parallel economy grew, Colombia's official economy began to warp. Inflation surged in cartel-heavy regions. Property prices detached from wages. Cash circulated faster than real production. Wealth appeared without economic output to support it. These are the exact warning signs governments fear when they lose monetary control. And the Colombian state faced a brutal reality. Shutting Escobar down wouldn't just remove a criminal, it would destabilize entire regions now dependent on cartel liquidity. People didn't support Escobar because they loved violence. They tolerated him because his system worked. That's why Escobar couldn't simply be arrested. He had to be erased. When he was killed, the violence didn't disappear, but the money didn't either. It fragmented. Other cartels inherited pieces. Laundering networks evolved. Offshore systems absorbed the flows. Architecture survived, even though the architect didn't. And that's the lesson most stories miss. Escobar wasn't the disease, he was a symptom. As long as demand creates cash flows large enough to rival national economies, parallel financial systems will exist. Shut one down, and another forms. Freeze accounts, and money reroutes. Ban transactions, and new channels emerge. Money always finds structure. Today, the world is full of systems that look eerily familiar. Shadow banking, offshore finance, sanctioned economies, informal markets larger than entire countries, digital money moving faster than regulation.
Escobar wasn't an anomaly. He was an early warning. When unofficial money becomes more reliable than official money, the system isn't breaking. It's already broken. If this made you see money differently, subscribe, because the most powerful financial systems aren't illegal. They're unofficial. And once you see them, you can't unsee them.